and it was well received by quite a lot of people, parents and children, teenagers alike. So that was good. And we're probably going to have a spring plant sale in the up and coming months. That's actually quite a good fundraiser. And what shall I say? We're going to redo the C program because it's quite a good COVID activity. So that's it.
Well, excellent. Thank you for coming tonight, Katrina.
Sure, my pleasure.
All right. Moving on. Andrew, you're up.
Okay, so Shelley Hines is Human Resources. Tara and I interviewed candidates. We actually had over 50, which is pretty astounding. I know quite a few of those are from Indeed, but a quarter of them were from, or at least had responded from the posting, either from the MBLC or on our website. And some very strong candidates. So we interviewed 3 and decided on Brenda Whitner, who actually tonight is to be, or at least crossing fingers, her appointment is confirmed tonight at the select board meeting. She's an avid reader. She's actually been part of the adult book club for quite a while now. Tara, how long has she been part of the book club?
Since we were at least in the old library, she moved over with us. So I think a couple of years before we moved.
Okay. Yeah. So she knows a number of the book club participants, including Chris and Tara and Monica, and very outgoing. I think she's going to be really good in terms of book recommendations for people. Really good resource that way. We think she'll be a good fit. I don't have any issues. She hasn't worked in a library per se, but I don't have any issues or thoughts about her not being able to handle the circulation system and any of the other library assistant related tasks. So my hope is she'll be approved tonight, appointed tonight, and then the only thing left is that they're still working through background checks. If she doesn't start this week, Friday, for example, then it'll probably be middle of the week next week.
Right.
Let's see, other staff news. Tara gets a congrats because she finished her MBLC Basic Library Techniques program.
Yay, Tara!
With the worst category of cataloging being the last one she had to work on, and I know what cataloging is like, and it's not fun. It's a real drag. It's drudgery. So kudos to her for completing that, and she was got through it unscathed and newly certified. The part-time staff retroactive pay issue. I still don't understand it. I'm not sure I understand why 10 weeks of work at the old salary rate isn't now prorated for the new salary rate. I believe it was in the 10th or the 11th week when everybody's new salary rate was approved. I don't really have a very good explanation for why that is. The only retro pay completed at this point is for the highway, but that was per their union contract. But our staff, for whatever reason, and I don't know if I'm assuming this is for other departments as well, haven't received their retroactive. And there doesn't seem to be any, I don't know, time frame in which that's supposed to happen. I don't know if you know of anything, Ellen, but
I don't. However, I remember the meeting where the select board approved the 2% COLA, and they said it was for fiscal year 22. Fiscal year 22 starts July 1, so to me that means retro.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if I need to elevate that above the person you asked.
Okay.
Or just copy the select board on this, and because that's what they voted. They voted fiscal year 22. To me, that means it's retro.
Yeah.
Fiscal year starts on July 1st.
And I haven't spoken directly to the town administrator, but I spoke to Shelley, who then spoke to Kim, and this was Kim's response. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
I'll see. I'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know why that it's a big deal. It's not, earth-shattering money or anything like
Right,
that.
right, absolutely. I just want to make sure that everybody is compensated in the way they're supposed to be compensated,
And
and
none of your people are in the union, right?
no.
Right. Yeah, so it can't be that.
Facilities. Anyway, the staff holiday party, by the way, excellent, really good. Just nice to be able to sit down with everybody and kind of not talk shop, basically talk about life and the holidays upcoming. And it was nice. And we had Levas for sandwiches and sides and that. So it was a really good afternoon. Facilities. So Superior Roofing got bit by the COVID bug and apparently fell behind in terms of some of the jobs they have to do. My understanding is that the project manager is supposed to get in touch with me this next week. He's away this week. And then hopefully we'll get something scheduled within the next couple of weeks to get the roof issues squared away. I had mentioned to him in the email that my phone message that not only I was interested in knowing what was going on, but the trustees and a friends group who have already, paid out $1,000 for down payment are interested in what's going on in terms of the scheduling. So he called me pretty soon after that. Bissell air purifier units came in, were delivered, and we've got those set up around the library now. So that is good. I have reached out to Chief Kessler and to his Lieutenant Craig Burnham. Chief Kessler is going to be in, next week, Thursday, to talk about defibrillator and generator. Just kind of get some background on that. And then Craig Burnham is supposed to come in potentially this Friday, either 9 or 9:30 a.m. Haven't heard back yet. Just to kind of do a walkthrough, safety checklist and walkthrough. Let's see, World Band, by next meeting, we should be able to meet hybrid downstairs. They're supposed to come in and do the software installation tomorrow morning. I'll be there to meet with them. So that should be done relatively soon also. Budget, real quick on the budget scenario. I made no change to operations outside of the books line because we have to make sure that is maintained at 19% of the total budget. But the changes or the increases I asked for this year were solely in the payroll lines. I want to get 5 hours for the staff and 5 hours for Tara. And we'll see where that goes. I hope that we can make some headway there. It's about 15,000 more than what is currently in our budget in order to do that. I didn't feel like operations was really the area we needed money anymore. She kept telling me that we should be putting money into different operations lines, and the spending of that and spending it down in the course of the year, we have plenty to work with. We don't need that. We need payroll and we need increased hours at the library.
Yeah, it's the right approach.
So, forget about operations. It's all payroll and, like I said, books just to cover that 19% threshold. Just quick on the budget. 25,000 was spent from the budget in December, 22,000 in November, and that's up quite a bit from October, which was like 17,000. We've spent close to 6,000 in books each month of the last 2 months, so that's good. I'm happy because we're getting closer in that line to where we need to be. Couple of the areas that were up for the month, lights, obviously because of our increased heating costs for the wintertime. Building maintenance, we spent over 1,700, and most of that was for the air purifier units. As I said, books, we spent over 6,000 in books for December. And then in programming, we spent just under 1,900. I can go quickly through the budget report at the end just to give a little bit of a breakdown on where we're at with some things. But I'll move on to programs. Some very good, well-attended programs in December. Chef Rob had 26 in attendance for his event. Creepy Christmas with Jeff Belanger, which was an in-person program, had 21 in attendance. The Friends had 2 sessions and 45 total participants for the DIY holiday gift sessions, which was great. Cozy Tea Cart had 18 on the Zoom, and the Cookies with Santa and the Storytime with Santa were huge hits. I don't think Santa is unaware of that.
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you, Santa. The virtual event had 83 kids attending and over 30 adults, so that's pretty astounding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wayne, I still have people talking and saying just how fun the Cookies with Santa was and the story time, but the Cookies with Santa just, again, it just got rave reviews. So thank you again for your time. We really appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun. I really had a good time doing it. Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah. It was great.
Let's see, January events calendar. So that can be read, on your own time. Just wanted to mention really quickly that we had Nathaniel Philbrick visit with us via Zoom on Thursday last week. It was just a really nice session, great question and answer session. We had 14 on the call. He was really only scheduled to be there for 15 minutes, but he was very generous with his answers and with his time, and he stayed for a little over a half hour. So, and I think we've had some really good feedback from that. So that was a great event, and he didn't charge us anything, which I was really surprised by, but that was excellent.
And Andrew did a great job facilitating the book discussion with him. It was fantastic.
He's real easy to talk to, just a nice guy, and just really interesting. I think some of us who maybe weren't as keen about the book, and it was kind of a mixed bag, I think had a greater appreciation once he had answered some of our questions in that. So that was great. Let's see. Oh, Tara and I have reassessed programming, and for now, this next week, we will continue with what we're doing. I sent to Tara just a blurb to post on the website that certain programs will still be postponed. Itty Bitty will be postponed, but others will be available virtually. I think Mendon, last time I looked, was still at 16% positivity of the numbers of individuals tested, so it's pretty high. Just as a side note, the mask requirement that we put in place, everybody seems to be following it, haven't had any issues at all. Both staff and patrons have been, adhering to the mandate, which is great. Let's see, projects. So Tara pared down some of the early chapter book series in the children's area. And so now we can actually add to that section. Annie and Monica are reading the Queen books, which, if anybody didn't know, are the books on the very back wall of the library, oversized books. And we're going to create some shelf space that way. They're ones that don't get as much circulation, but we're going to try to put some of them back into the regular collection and see what happens with those. Others are outdated and will either wind up in the book sale or in some cases, not even worth it trying to sell them. We will recycle them. We also downsized the adult audiobooks on CD, got rid of one shelf unit or bay, shrunk that down, and then expanded the playaway. We're kind of going on a hunch here, but a lot of cars aren't made anymore with audio CD players. So, and people aren't probably checking them out as frequently as they used to. A lot of people moving to the e-format or playaways. So we're going to focus more on the playaways and less so on the audio on CD. Town news. I know we'll talk about strategic planning. 3 individuals who I haven't heard from, and so we might need to look at some backups there. Let's see what else. Annual town report I'm working on. I submitted 2 items for the quarterly newsletter, including the new fine-free, our fine-free library, as it is now, decision to go fine-free. Let's see, reached out to the town administrator. Oh yes, my contract. So I did send that to her. Thanks, Ellen, for, I had to correct that to read select board as opposed to board of selectmen. And then you probably saw the response today. So
I did.
Yeah. And there's really not any monumental changes there. So we'll see what happens with that.
I can't see an issue there.
Yeah. And then regional news. Typically, there's a legislative breakfast. Actually, there's usually a number of them, 3 or 4. And COVID has made that very difficult to accomplish this year. So the CMLA, Central Mass Library Advocates, are looking at doing another virtual. I think they did a virtual last year, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the regional news, and that's all I wrote.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
In terms of the budget report, just a couple of things to note on that. Let's see. We've spent through about 71% of the supplies budget, 89.3% in the building maintenance budget, which isn't a large budget to begin with, and then about close to 73% in programming. I looked at the books number today. It says on your on the budget report you received 42.2%. In the last couple of weeks, though, I've submitted bills and we're actually at about 27,700 spent through. So we're almost at 50% spent through for the book. So with just the first part of the next half of the year started, we're at 50, which is good. We do have areas to pull from for some of those categories where the percentage spent is higher. Contracted services we have about 14,000 left in there, actually 15 almost. Right under 11,000 in lights. And then there's other areas we just typically won't really tap into much in terms of fuel and telephone. And we really won't tap into meetings and dues too much. So there's other money to pull from, is essentially the upshot there. And the total budget spent to this point, at least by the end of December, was just about 49%. So we're relatively in line with where we should be.
Great.
And that's the budget report.
Thank you. All right, you kind of already talked about COVID, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, we're I wouldn't say that, I mean, there have been people in, I wouldn't say that there have been lots of people in at any given time. The one issue we had last week, Saturday, I was in the library and there were a couple families that kind of camped out. I think it was after the Friday snowstorm and they wanted to get out and were stir crazy. If it was me, I wouldn't be with my kids camping out in the library for 45 minutes to an hour, but that's not something we sanctioned. That was their choice. So
yeah.
Otherwise, I would say that we've had traffic, but it hasn't been the kind of thing where, you know, we looked at and we're like, oh my gosh, this is a recipe for disaster or something like that.
Right.
It's been pretty decent. Like I said, everybody's been wearing masks and, you know, so far so good.
Good. All right. So strategic planning.
So I had sent a couple of emails and then I sent a reminder email. I haven't heard back from 3 individuals who said that they were interested last year. Sue Ruggiero, and I did check and I do have the correct contact information for her. So I haven't heard back from her. She's local Mendon resident and a patron of the library. Jack Hamilton, I haven't heard from. I believe he retired, right? So
I just saw on Facebook that he was retiring. So yeah.
And then I haven't heard from Mike Maroli at all. So those
Oh,
are the
interesting.
three, yeah, those are the three. I don't know if we want to find some backups. What do we want to exactly do about that?
Well, I can reach out to Mike,
Okay.
see if he was, now he was not on the select board when we asked him, is that right?
I don't believe he was at the time. Yeah.
Okay. So we picked him as just a patron of the library, was that it?
Well, he was on the FinCom.
Yeah. That's what I
Oh,
was
that's
thinking.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, he'd been
FinCom.
on the FinCom.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, Tara and I can put our heads together. If Sue's not able to do it, we can put our heads together and find just another men in resident that we could
Yeah.
ask. And then Jack Hamilton. Tara, did you say that there were some other like business leaders in town, some others we could maybe reach out to?
I was thinking maybe we could reach out to the people who own like Custom Home Realty or Subway. Maybe
Okay.
people like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think
think-
you're looking for somebody who had a business in town, correct? I mean, or at
Yeah.
least is, you know.
Custom Home Realty, they were very active with the Brothers of the Brush during the Christmas that we had there, the Santa Parade. They were
Mhm.
very active involved there, so that would probably be a good choice.
Okay.
One of the owners is my next door neighbor,
Oh, Naomi?
Naomi.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
me to reach out to her, or if you want to reach out, but I just putting it out there.
Would you
Do you
mind
have
reaching out to her?
contact?
No, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you could reach out to her and let us know. I mean, you have you're a neighbor, so I mean,
Right.
it's, it would seem natural.
Okay,
If that was something you would be willing to do, that would be great.
sure.
Excellent.
And just to let the rest of the board know that Allison has graciously offered to serve on the committee as the trustee representative. So thank you very much, Allison.
Yes, thank you, Allison.
My
Good.
pleasure.
And then Tara, you and I will we'll talk about maybe another. We'll see if we can reach out to Sue. Just give her a phone call or something, and then if that doesn't fly, we'll see who else we can recruit potentially in the community.
Yeah,
Now,
I
was
can.
she one of our senior representatives?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
If we don't get in touch with her by the phone, Andrew, I can try. We'll see her at the next book club. I can
Okay.
ask her then.
Okay.
If not, maybe I'll take a look around that room and see who else we can come up with.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be
All
great.
right.
Excellent.
I'm heading in my car, so I may lose you guys.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Tara.
You're welcome.
Everybody else was on board and is able to participate, and Jim was still interested in being the facilitator. So
Excellent.
we're set there. Obviously, right now things aren't great in terms of meeting in person. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll at least try to fill this group out, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. We'll regroup at the next meeting
Yeah, okay.
and see how it goes. Make sure we've got enough people. All right. Was there anything else anyone else wanted to talk about?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't have anything.
All right, then.
Just sorry
let's
for
set
being
the-
late.
Oh,
That's okay. You had showed up. I forgot to start the recording, so the first like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, not recorded. But whatever. We did record eventually. Let's see, let's set the next meeting date. So looks like February 9th.
Yep.
6 p.m. They will all be hybrid going forward. We should be able to meet downstairs, right, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're setting up the software tomorrow. I can't imagine that, soon after that, we'll be ready to go downstairs there, so. Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. Now, if Lonnie offers you some training, which I hope he will,
yeah,
could
I
you let
thought-
me know when that is? Because I wouldn't mind getting a refresher.
okay, yeah.
Because I
I'm not
haven't
sure-
had to use it yet.
I'm not sure who's coming in to do the installation. Is it, I don't, was it Lonnie? Did Lonnie say he was supposed to, is he usually doing the installation on this?
He doesn't do the installation.
Okay,
It's
so I will,
Sound.
okay, once it's all set up, then I'll reach out to him and say, look, can we, I would like some, background on how to work this, and Ellen would like it as well. And I know Tara had mentioned learning it. So we can set up a time with him to do that.
I attended the one training, but I
Oh,
haven't had to actually use it in real time. So,
Okay. Did
I
it seem
figure I can-
straightforward or?
it's like using a remote control. The
Okay.
biggest thing is remembering to hit the record button.
Okay. Got it.
And then also stopping the recordings at the end of the meeting. But I think for the most part, it's pretty straightforward.
I'll ask whoever's there to do the installation tomorrow, or at least tell him, we definitely want Lonnie to stop in, but otherwise I'll reach out to Lonnie anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And if there's nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Also move.
All right.
Second.
All righty. We'll see you in February.
All right.
Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
You too.
Good to see everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Good night.